One thing I've noticed in a lot of movies and TV shows is how they'll give a role to a racially ambiguous person and then try to convince the viewer that that person is black. And I realize they only do that with black people. They never try to convince the viewer that that person is Asian, white, Hispanic, nothing else. They only try to convince the viewer that this racially ambiguous person is black.
That is not true. As a matter of fact, Hollywood is notorious for basically doing this to all groups of people. For example, in the show Doogie MD, Disney casted a girl that's not Native Hawaiian at all to play the lead role of a character that's supposed to be part Native Hawaiian. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of wild. But they did it. Non-Hispanic people play Hispanic people all the time as well. One of my favorite shows, Breaking Bad, all of the main antagonists are supposed to be Hispanic, but damn near none of the actors actually are. Gus is supposed to be from Chile, but the actor is Danish American, and Hector and Don Eladio are supposed to be Mexican, but the actors have no ties to Mexico whatsoever. And yes, the Spanish on that show was terrible. Hispanic is a bit different though in my opinion, because as we know, Hispanic is not a race, and the people that do live in these countries do have similar racial makeups to these actors. But I'm still including Hispanic people because you brought up Hispanic people in your video. You know what is a race though? Native American, and my goodness has Hollywood had a ball throwing a wig and some makeup on some white actors and calling them Native American. That though is more similar to blackface, and I don't think that's the point that you were trying to get at with your video. The point that I think you were trying to make is that you see a lot of mixed people. So for example, people that have one black parent and one white parent playing in roles where they have two black parents. For example, Hilary Banks in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Lisa Bonet in The Cosby Show, and Drake in Degrassi. Now you do have a point, and this is something that happens proven by the examples that I just gave. However, it's still incorrect and untrue to say that it only happens to black people, because this also happens to other groups of people. You got Vanessa Hudgens, who may not be Hispanic at all, who played a Hispanic character in High School Musical. In the movie Crazy Rich Asians, two of the main characters, including the male lead Henry Golding, are actually biracial. And what's probably the wildest example of this, in the movie The Son is Also a Star, both lead actors are biracial people playing monoracial roles. Jara Shahidi has an Iranian father and an African American mother, and Charles Melton has a white father and a Korean mother. But in the movie, they are both given two parents of the same race. Now, a lot of y'all might find this surprising, but it even happens to white people. Mark Paul, who plays Zach in Saved by the Bell, is actually biracial, but in the show, he's just white. Jessica Alba played a white woman in the Fantastic Four, even though in real life, her father is Hispanic. And Keanu Reeves played the son of two white people in the movie Under the Influence, even though in real life, Keanu's father is Hawaiian and Chinese. Now, before everybody gets all they're taking our jobs down with the biracials on me, we must also acknowledge that the opposite happens as well. Monoracial people play biracial people in shows and movies all the time as well. For example, Denzel Washington in the movie Carbon Copy, where this is his father. In the movie A Family Thing, Robert Duvall has a black mother. In the movie Southside with You, Barack Obama is portrayed by Robert Sawyers, who has two African American parents in real life. In the show Euphoria, Storm Reed has a white father, even though in real life, Storm Reed has two African American parents. In the show To All the Boys I Loved Before, the lead role has a white father, but is portrayed by Londa Condor, who in real life is just Asian. In the movie Aloha, Emma Stone plays a character that is supposed to be part Chinese and part Hawaiian, and I'm pretty sure Emma Stone has none of that in her. And finally, and I actually find this one funny, but in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, London Tipton has a white father for some reason. And as we know, Brenda Song is just Asian in real life. So as you guys can see, it's definitely not a one-way street. So in conclusion, in my opinion at least, there's definitely levels to this, right? Some of these things are definitely more egregious than others. At the top, I have people that have no relation to the group that they are portraying whatsoever and put things like makeup and wigs to look more like said group. Like I said earlier, that's basically blackface. Then I have actors that also have no relation to the group they're portraying, but don't do things like wear makeup and wigs to look more like the group. So like the girl from Doogie MD who is playing a native Hawaiian despite not being one herself. What is going on with Hawaiians, by the way? As I was doing my research for this video, I saw that Nani from Lilo and Stitch was also going to be portrayed by a non-native Hawaiian. Like, what's going on? Are you really telling me there are no native Hawaiian actors? And if that is the case, why not at least get another Polynesian actor to fill in the role? Moving on though, in last place I have biracial people playing monoracial roles and vice versa. Not gonna lie, I don't think it's egregious at all. I would just say it's not necessarily ideal. If I'm being honest, when it comes to acting, to me at least, the only thing I really care about is believability. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't tell me that both of these actors were biracial, I wouldn't just automatically know. Same thing with Storm Reed. It's believable that one of her parents can be white, even though she doesn't in real life.